Have you ever really stopped to think about how your body works? I mean, how it turns something like a simple meal into the energy that powers, well, everything you do. Your thoughts, your breath, every single movement. It's this incredible microscopic engine, and today we're going to pop the hood and see exactly how it runs.
Seriously, just think about it for a second. That sandwich you had for lunch, or maybe an apple you just finished, how does that actually become the fuel for you to walk around, to talk, or to even just sit here and watch this? It's a pretty wild question, and the answer is hidden deep, deep inside your cells. So before we start this whole journey, we need to meet the hero of our story, ATP. The easiest way to think about it, if your body was an economy, ATP would be the cash. It's the spendable energy that cells use to get absolutely anything done. Our whole goal today is to see how your body makes as much of this stuff as possible.
You know, this whole process wasn't discovered overnight. It was pieced together by scientists, often starting with notes and diagrams that looked a lot like these. You can almost think of them as the original treasure map to finding the body's energy. So, let's follow that map.
Okay, our journey from food to fuel kicks off with sugar, specifically a molecule called glucose. That's the main fuel source you get from the carbs you eat. This is where it all begins. Let's get our bearings with our map here. You see that glucose molecule at the top? That's us. We're starting outside of that big oval thing, which is the cell's main powerhouse. This first step all happens in the main, kind of jelly-like part of the cell called the cytoplasm. This first stage is called glycolysis. Sounds complicated, but it's not. Glyco means sugar, and lysis means splitting. And that's literally all that happens. One big glucose molecule gets split right in half into two smaller molecules called pyruvic acid. It's like the first quick chop of a log before you toss it in the fire. And what do we get for all that trouble? A tiny little profit of just 2 ATP molecules. Yeah, it's not much, but hey, it's a start. This is that fast, immediate energy, but it's really just the appetizer. The main course is still coming.
All right, now for the main event. To get to the really big energy payoff, we have to go somewhere special. We're heading inside the cell's dedicated power plant, the mighty mitochondrion. This is where the real work happens.
So, following along on our map, you can see our 2 pyruvic acid molecules are on the move. They're crossing the border from the outside and heading into that inner oval, the mitochondrion. And where are they going? Straight for that circle in the middle, a process called the Krebs cycle. The Krebs cycle is kind of like a spinning chemical factory. It takes our fuel, breaks it down even more, and as a waste product, it releases carbon dioxide. Yep, the same CO2 you're breathing out right now. But here's the most important part. This cycle isn't really about making a lot of ATP directly. Its main job is to load up these special little molecules, think of them like tiny energy taxis, to get them ready for the grand finale. So what's the direct energy payout from this stage? Another small prize, just 2 ATP. So let's tally it up. We've split our sugar, we've processed it, and we only have a grand total of 4 ATP to show for it. It feels like a lot of work for not much reward, but trust me, everything is about to change. And now for the moment we've all been waiting for. This is it. This is the stage where pretty much all of the energy from that original glucose molecule is finally unlocked. Welcome to the respiratory chain. Looking back at our diagram, this last step is where everything comes together. Glycolysis and the Krebs cycle, they were just the warm-up acts. All they did was prepare the fuel and send out those little energy taxis. Now, those taxis are about to cash in their chips right here at the respiratory chain. This stage is the entire reason you need to breathe. Seriously. Oxygen is the absolute key ingredient. It acts like this powerful magnet, pulling energy down the chain. And as that energy gets released, it powers these little pumps that just churn out a massive amount of ATP. Without oxygen, this whole assembly line just grinds to a halt. That's why breathing is totally non-negotiable. So what's the big payoff? Are you ready for this? A whopping 32 ATP molecules. This one single stage produces 8 times more energy than the first 2 combined. This is the powerhouse of the cell, really earning its name. So let's just zoom out and recap the incredible journey we just took. We've seen how one single molecule of sugar gets totally transformed into the energy that keeps you alive. And it all happens in 3 main parts. It's really like a simple 3-act play. Act 1, you split the sugar with glycolysis for a quick little spark. Act 2, you prepare that fuel in the Krebs cycle, loading up all those energy taxis. And Act 3, you cash everything in for that massive energy jackpot in the respiratory chain, all thanks to a little bit of oxygen.
And here it is in black and white. The numbers just make it crystal clear, don't they? 2 ATP from the first step, 2 from the second, and then this enormous 32 from the third. From just one molecule of glucose, your body generates an incredible 36 units of energy. Now that is efficiency.
So, the next time you take a deep breath or enjoy a meal, just remember this amazing process. You are literally bringing in the raw materials, the fuel from your food, and the oxygen from the air that your trillions of tiny cellular engines need to power your life. It's pretty cool.
It's an amazing system, right? Happening constantly, without you even having to think about it. And it kind of raises one last interesting thought. Your body is an absolute expert at making energy. The only real question left is, what are you going to do with it? Thanks for joining me.